your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear. Support and defend.
Something's coming. Something's coming. Something's coming. Something's coming. Something's coming.
Let the games begin. Come walk in my shoes. I done paid all my dues. I got something to prove. All in, nothing to lose. Right now a new day starts. Woke up my brave heart. Stand up and play my part. Like the crowd waves start. Been patient long enough. Not waiting, I'm bossing up. Life is like a toss up. I tinted triple crossed it up. We born to be giant slayers. We shine too bright to shade us or face us. We love the pressure. It's what made us.
Something's coming. Something's coming. Something's coming.
Let the games begin. I was born for this. From day one I wanted it. We come too far to quit. Ain't no stopping it. I was born for this. From day one I wanted it. We come too far to quit. Ain't no stopping it. Ain't no stopping it. Time to rise up. Time to rise up. Time to rise up. Time to rise up. So let's go crazy, crazy like Prince in the 1980s. Don't play me, I'm not Brady. Too blown, you can't deflate me. Yes, ballin' is my calling.
To the recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive.
Good evening.
Good evening.
What is going on, fellow Patriots?
It's 368 and counting. Guys are texting so fast, can't even keep up. So we got my phone. I'm just gonna sit here with Jaws. We'll watch along. There's no way we can keep up on the big screen.
We got Jaws and Scott. We got the team. We're here. We're waiting on his Woodman. Once he gets here, what? Beat feet.
Beat feet. Beat the storm.
Yeah, we are dealing with ice and high winds. Scott was saying what?
Bad winds.
It's constant 30 to 40 mile an hour winds or something like
Yeah,
that.
we're right underneath the Great Lakes, so we don't know what we're going to be up against first couple hours. So
We're giving ourselves plenty of time. We don't have to rush. There is a meeting, some other Patriots, other YouTubers, channels I've gone on quite frequently. But if that's what our deadline is. But we got plenty of time. But if we can't make that, we will be at the event. We're way early for that. But we're going to leave it a little earlier than planned. Who is there with you tonight, Michael? All right, let's introduce. We got Jaws. I'm off center here. We got Jaws.
Sergeant Jaworski.
Yeah, introduce yourself, brother.
Oh, yeah, make him talk. He's all claimed up. He hates going
He's been
live.
on the show before. He's been here for some of you. You haven't seen him. But here is Sergeant Jaworski. Introduce yourself, brother.
Good evening, fellow Patriots. My name's Gary Jaworski. I spent 11 years in the military, became good friends with Mike, and have had the privilege of being put on the show here now. I think this is
maybe the fourth right now.
Yeah, might be the fourth right now. So was fortunate enough to get invited to go to Virginia and help support a great cause. So I'm definitely excited to be here, and I hope you guys are all having a great night. For sure.
Yes. And his background is Army?
Yes,
Yep.
11 years in the Army.
There you go. So, fellow Patriot, been on the show. This is a cause that rattled him a little bit. So he, through Scott, it came out, Jaws wants to go. I was like, Jaws is in. There was no second, well, is he a Patriot and does he really?
Well,
there was
we got
no
4 seats. So
yeah, that's right.
Waste not, want none, I always
That's
say.
right. That's right. So Jaws is in. You see him. He's here. They're actually pending the night over here at the old Patriot Hour. So
the joke right now amongst the women are, look at the adult men having a slumber party. Well, when you got to get up between 2 and 3 a.m., is it really a slumber? You know,
that's right.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, we're not. We got to get off the show here so we can go pop popcorn and watch a movie. That's not the case.
Yeah, hold hands, take long hot showers.
I'm like, well, in that case,
Yeah, see ya.
Watch a little Sleepless in Seattle. No, not here,
that's
not tonight.
happening. No.
All right. So anyway, what are you guys? What is the buzz you've been hearing? What do you think about our road to Virginia?
Jaws has joined me with some of my business adventures, traveling a little bit. So the road trip, I'm way excited for. I'm excited that we're close to D.C. I hope we can make some pit stops. Don't know what the time's going to allow us. I mean, we all want to get back home to our families. I promised mine that I wasn't going to make this any longer than it had to be, but you get me around some monuments and maybe some Civil War or D.C. But what makes me nervous is what we talked about, you and I talked about on the show the other day about, once you're there, you got 100,000 plus people, and now we know the logistics of if you go in and you're going to be part of the actual rally. This is not a protest, this is a rally. Well, you're going in one entrance, and then there's only 2 or 3 exits, and everything's secured and walled off. So, but mainly the biggest one is the men in black, we always call them Antifa, have already said that they're going to try to blend in with, the normal apparel. So you don't know who the guy or the gal is going to be next to you, and I'm mature and old enough here to know that it only takes a little spark. I mean, this is a lot of kindling that's going to be in this fire. There's a lot of tension. There's again, we're going down there to videotape, interview, get perspective. We're not down there to hula and make a big scene. Mike and I's job is to report back to our people.
Yes.
So
you got to gain the knowledge first, and I think being down there and being there firsthand is going to be critical in knowing what exactly is going on, and then gives us the opportunity to relay the proper information.
Are we part of history? I mean, I don't know, but this is important to us, and if it's important to us here in our home state, then Mike and I talked about it. We should travel. We should go support Virginia because we want Virginia to support us. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all Americans, right? So
yes. Thank you, Love in Texas, for the $20 in the super chat. God be with you in your travels. She put.
She's buying coffee. All right, we get coffee in 5 hours on her. I appreciate that.
Thank you. There you go.
Definitely going to be appreciated.
Again, we all.
I was saying the other day it was going to be McDonald's. It just upgraded to Burger King. No joking. No, we are eating.
We all
good.
have real
We're
jobs here at the Patriot Hour. We're not CNN. We're not Fox. So that little. I mean, $20 is not little in my eyes. I mean, that gets us 100 miles down the road. That gets us some coffee. That doesn't.
And she's not the only one. We've had some great Patriots, but we really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Lori. Loving in Texas. Loving Texas.
Very appreciated. Now we don't have to. We're already leaving our families, so trying to spend monies that maybe we shouldn't, or whatever. So we do appreciate it.
People. So we got questions coming in. Where is the rally?
Richmond, VA.
The old Commonwealth state. Now I got married out there years ago. I don't know if you guys know this, I had said it the other day, but the state seal for Virginia is a woman standing, the man's on the ground and the woman's on him with her 1 foot on the back. Like with the arm. So it's pretty crazy.
Well, but I've had a couple of drinks and I have some things in there, but I'm going to leave that alone. But boy, that's...
No, so, it's always been known, it's really horrible to get divorced out there. So I had gotten married out there, but luckily I didn't get divorced. I was back in Indiana at the time. It's just like Michigan, we hear Michigan's bad with like alimony or some certain things, right?
Yeah.
So each state in the union has different laws. We get it. So any other questions for us? We're not going to do something super long here. We want to check in. I want to let you know the fellows were here.
See, head on a swivel. See, and that's what we're. Maybe this is a safety show. We're reminding you guys.
You guys remind us some.
Ourselves.
We get it.
We'd like to think, and I know we're all nervous. I mean, I'm going on 40 years old. I've traveled enough. I've seen enough nasty things, but you just never know when you get. What did we say the other day? You get this many people involved. It only takes one jerk, or we don't know who's planning, to take advantage of all these conservative type people in this one area. So I hope God is with us. I hope everybody understands this is a rally. This is not a protest. This is not a militia or military type practice. This is just people saying, "Hey, these are our rights."
All right.
And
I'm going to my notifications real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I want Scott to read this one. I'm going to look at this one. People are saying, praying for our safety. We got American Biker up here. Let me make this a little bigger for us, if I can.
I'll wear my biker.
There we go. American Biker puts 1 minute ago, praying for your safety Monday. Ooh, we got Rockefeller gave us 20. You guys keep doing what you do. Stay safe in Richmond, and we appreciate everything you guys do.
Thank you very much, brother.
So American Biker up here, praying for your safety. Also, that we don't have to lose any pawns, and POTUS has our back. Thank you so much. Yes, good news. Great video. LOL, Virginia, autocorrect. That was me earlier. But here's the one, Scott, coming up right here. Okay, so I don't know. Do you know this Senator Amanda Chase, by the way? Have you ever?
Well, I'm going to be honest, no.
Me neither. So any of you, while Scott's reading this, do a little
Amanda
quick search
Chase,
for us.
Somebody Google
Senator Amanda
Where's she
Chase.
from? Virginia, probably?
Well, I'm not seeing the official. This might be from Facebook, too, but I'm not seeing the official
so sadly,
Twitter.
I'm posting this knowing that the governor of Virginia has declared a state of emergency in our state. Got me a little worried, a little nervous. I want you to be aware of how we are being set up. Does the Patriot Act ring a bell? Oh, boy. Does the National Defense Authorization Act ring a bell?
NDAA.
See, now I'm getting a little... If people show up wearing any kind of uniform, patch, or other symbol of clothing signifying they belong to a militia and something goes wrong, you will be held as a domestic terrorist. I'm going to stop right there. We talked about this the other day. We had a caller come in yesterday and ask, well, how are you going to dress? How do you think you should dress? We did. We seen it coming.
Should you wear your uniform?
No, you don't. You blend in. Do not draw attention to yourself like you might be a better survivalist, a better military trained. I mean, you don't want to be a target. You just want to be a normal American citizen. Do not go out there wearing your uniform or your black belt and your gi. Don't.
Yeah.
You want to just look normal. Don't draw attention. So, if anyone steps out of line,
sorry. There you go.
Oof.
If anyone steps
out of line, all it takes is one person. I've said this. It may be even a government plant. I've said this. If the plant does anything to disrupt the rally, you will be arrested as domestic terrorists. Arresting is fine. I have no problem with that. The governor using the media has already set the stage for what's about to happen. I get that. He has already laid groundwork to make the entire movement look like insurrection. It'll be used to put the rest of the nation under notice, basically. All right, so what she's saying is what I've been saying for the last 24, 48 hours. These are the things I'm vigilant of. These are the things I'm worried about. Obviously, we know that we're walking into a big pile of dry straw on a 100-degree day, right? It takes one spark. I'm not stupid to that. That does make us nervous. We're not in control of what's going on in the background, and you just magnified this. Great.
Scott's got the mic.
Every time he does that, it just makes me just hiccup
Scott's
a
got the
little bit.
mic.
So I understand her plight, and this is why Mike and I asked for prayers. Do I go into this?
God is with you, somebody said.
God's always with me. God is good all the time, every day. I'm going because this might be history. I'm also going because it's Mike and I's job. It's what we want to do. This is something that's near and dear to us.
The old Second Amendment?
Yeah, well, Second Amendment, First Amendment, Third,
Yes,
it doesn't
right.
matter. As soon as I seen the governor spinning this and start passing the temporary law that it's not open carry, you can't be carrying, that kind of alarmed me. Like, what's he doing? There is a good chance that we all get down there and then somebody higher up than all of us are going to spend some money and get somebody crazy to do something, spark it off.
Already
look
paid
what
for it, already
happened.
propagated it to happen.
Yeah, look what happened. All these people got shot and killed. This is why guns don't blow. So there is that huge risk.
There's a chance.
And I hope we're surrounded by educated, mature adults. I don't care if somebody stands up next to you and me or Jaws or even Woodman later tomorrow or on Monday and says, we watch the show, we love you, and you see them get out of hand and start getting ruckus, my job is to say, hey, man, we're not here to do that.
Yeah.
Don't be part of a problem, be part of a solution. This is why we're here.
Anyone gets in our faces, we've already talked about it. This is the one day of the year that we're going to give the freebie. It's going to be like, thank you, and turn and find somebody that's willing, that we want to talk to that day. This is not the day, because there's probably going to be some really crazy things that shock you odd, and it's probably, oh, you're an undercover something trying to incite me to do this, or somebody recording over there, probably CNN. Right. So they can have their 6 o'clock.
Swivel, maturity, responsibility.
We got 800 in the room.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this.
I couldn't walk away, Mike. You know me.
No.
So well, this will be very difficult for me, but I also going into this.
We need you to, brother, because we don't want you to be the one guy.
And I would be, probably.
We don't want you on that viral video, unless it's a great thing where you do something real great. But no, we don't want to be that. You don't want to be propagated
on the front of the boat
up
and have somebody row me across the Potomac as I hold up the American flag type great.
Yes.
Well, that's not going to happen.
No, they have. This is crazy, folks. So
I am nervous, and the more the closer this trip gets. Again, I've been around, man. I that's my job. Prior to my first business was traveling the country, working on equipment, other countries, whatever. This is probably the most nervous I've ever been, and here's why. Newborn, going with friends, understanding the situation, understanding that we've done our research and found out that even Antifa has said they're coming and they're going to be in plain clothes. They're not going to stand out. So
changing their outfit.
What we've talked about is when we go down there, we're going to stay in pairs. We're going to stay within ourselves. We're going to open our arms and talk and videotape and whatever to just about anybody that wants to. But we're going to be vigilant that the person you're standing next to could be the very person that hates your guts, right? So, again, I hope my voice registers to everybody that's going. It won't, but 3 of us, and then Ed Woodman are going down there.
Isn't it weird that
we're going to be hanging out with people, and we cannot control 100,000.
All the accidents that they claim happen, like against Trump and the FBI, for example, are against them. No accidents are ever for them. No Trump supporter shows up to Bernie Sanders or Joe Biden's rallies I've been seeing, but yet the anti-Trump show up to his. And they wait for 10 minutes in, they rip their shirt off, and then they create chaos, because every Trump rally, about 10 minutes in, you see him stop, and he's like, get him out of here, go home to mommy. But it's like, why? Why do they waste their time? It's like you hate a TV show, but you tune in at 6:30 to watch it.
This isn't an accurate quote.
We don't do that.
My verbiage is probably off, but when you recognize that I am him, you will oppose me.
Yeah.
We don't go oppose Bernie and Warren. Why?
No, I tune out because I don't like them.
It's irrelevant.
I don't watch it.
And again, we're not Republicans.
I want him shut down.
We're constitutionalists. I get so tired of some people. Oh man, you and Mike, Patriot, you guys are all conservatives.
Everyone's saying don't go. It looks like a trap. See, that's what they want. See, folks, this is what sucks about Virginia. We have to go. Because, I mean, and I get it, don't go, it's a trap. Nobody shows up, then they get to say, look, nobody showed up in support of it. They're all for the...
absentee vote is always a yay vote, folks.
And we're not going to vote, we know that, right? Nobody's voting that day. But this is similar. It's just like the people that wanted this to happen say, we're going there on this day to support a cause. So now, and then they've done everything to thwart that. Don't show up, there's this going to happen. We've declared this. It's a pro-gun rally. You're going to show up in open carry state.
Well, let me ask you this, Mike, and ask the listeners: has anybody seen this on national news? Because and I'm curious because that's where you get to
the narrative of bad things going to happen.
But
yes.
But is everybody that tunes into TV in the news in the morning or in evening or whatever, midday, or on the radio, are you hearing about this? Because if you're not, then I'm going to say maybe it's okay, but if on our way down there tomorrow it gets amplified and you start seeing this on, that's when I'm really going to look at my buddy sitting there and I'm going to say, well, you know me, I'm still in and we're still going to go, but now we're going to go to Amber Alert level. We're going to be really vigilant. they're going to try to sweep this under the rug, maybe. If it's not hit national news yet, I don't know how alarmed I am, but man, it only takes one person.
No, this is
140,000.
mainstream. It really has. I mean,
Here's what I will tell you, folks. You're probably not going to get a whole lot of footage of inside, and I guess the only way that would happen is if once we're there and we feel comfortable. But I am not comfortable sending my buddies or asking anybody to go in my stead inside of a one-way in, three-way out, 100,000 people.
disarmed.
Come on.
But yet the one bad guy somehow got his in.
Right.
After the fact, we'll find out.
I'm not going to be a rat. I'm not going to be a rat in a maze. We can interview people.
We're not
going
dumb, all right, folks?
Right.
You don't need to worry about us being dumb.
I told Mike, maybe we'll go in twos, and one group takes the entrance and interview people that are in line to get in.
If anything, me and Scott wire up Charles. We send him in.
Yeah.
And he's
got the least to lose. I mean, he does.
Between
Mike and I, we got a football team.
You've seen the movie Expendables, right?
Yeah.
All right, so
so if you're gonna like,
we're joking.
Yeah, if you're gonna make a joke and compare this or what's the simile or metaphor or whatever to sports. Jaws has got a golfer, right? One kid. You got one kid.
One kid.
One kid. Mike and I got a football team.
He knows of.
We have a football team
that I paid for.
That's on the books.
Yeah. Mike's dropping stuff over here. Now we're getting.
That's on the books.
All jokes aside, I personally told my wife I'm not going in. It just doesn't sound right. I mean, but listen, this is not the platform for me to tell you how I've gotten strong and experienced and I'm okay with some of this stuff. But I'm telling you, I can identify that I'm not walking into that one. I'm not going into a cage. Anytime you want me to walk in and be surrounded by, I'm not sure it's Bob White. We don't even know, really. We're just
no. They got pictures out. Do you want to see the pictures now?
I don't want to see the pictures before I go down.
It's 8 foot tall, like, temporary fence all around the Capitol grounds. Well, they got you were here when
I can't jump it while they're shooting.
Didn't they show what they were wheeling in yesterday? Didn't we go over that?
Yeah, I didn't really care for the vehicles that we saw, but I'll remind you that wasn't military and it wasn't county.
It was state
that
police.
Was state police because they're trying. I think, and listen, I'm not here to, bash the hornet's nest, but just because you see some state police vehicles doesn't mean that they're all on board for this. I mean, if the governor speaks, then I suppose they have to answer to an extent. But we've heard some of the sheriffs say, we're not upholding these laws. And you don't see the National Guard in there. I don't think they belong anyway, but if there was a real threat, then we would know our Commander-in-Chief Trump could trump, no pun intended, anything that the governor could do. So I don't think they're corralling 100 and plus some thousand people to just murder them. But it's just really strange how they're doing this. I've been to enough rallies. We went to the Trump rally right down the road from us, Mike. There was no walls. There was no massive security of you felt like you were being put into a cage. This one, the governor's pretty much set it up. If you want to come into the Capitol and bitch and complain, number one, you're not going to be able to carry in a carry-free state. Yeah. I just passed 3 or 4 days of emergency bullshit. Pardon my language. It's Saturday night. I don't care. But you also
folks.
But if you want to come and do all this, we're taking your guns from you. You don't get to carry it. Local sheriff said we're not going to support the law. But if you come and protest, this is how you're going to protest. You're going to walk through my mouse maze cage.
Yeah.
And you're going to stand
there. We don't
there.
play that. That's simple as that. We don't.
And he keeps using it. And CNN and all the other critics say this is a rally.
Could be the one that they had all planned. It's a Bible Belt, as far as I know. I was down there for 5 years. This is huge. This is going to set the stage. Now Missouri's already doing. Is it Missouri? Am I right? Missouri, the Show Me state. They're pulling things already similar to Virginia now. So this is going to set the stage. Whether it's like one state by one, because none of this other crap's crept. I mean, people down there are saying that you can't take the guns in the court building no more. Aren't we already? We can't even take cell phones in ours.
I said this yesterday.
We can't take cell phones in ours.
That doesn't bother me.
No. But think about it.
Right.
It should. But we're born here. You're in this area too long, so That's the
Well, let me
problem,
ask
Scott.
you
That's
this.
the problem.
All right.
Well, no. Well, you know, the Second Amendment is only
Right.
2 lines. It doesn't specifically even say guns. Some people say that the Second Amendment's not even about guns. It's about the principle of fighting off a tyrannical
And
government.
some people say it should be bolt action, one shot, flint.
So look, Chuck, listen,
you know.
I like to break it down this way, and I know people have heard this. Man, we got a nice room in here tonight.
Do we?
850 right now. So look, if tonight an intruder breaks in, we're all sleeping. I come out of my bedroom with a gun, and on that stairwell, I encounter an intruder. He's got his gun drawn on me, and I got mine on him. And we're both like, hey, and I'm in my house. I know I'm in the right.
You sure?
That's one thing, right?
You screwed up right there. You waited.
Well, I'm just saying.
Just shoot
No, I'm just
something.
saying. I catch him, and it's that real quick, and it's like he's able to say, and that's either where I shoot him, but he's able to say, "Give me your gun," and I can be like, "No," but what I'm saying is the point that people will be like, "Give me your gun. We'll talk about this." You sure? I'm gonna give you my gun. You're just gonna take my gun and leave, then, right? Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a conversation you'd never want to have.
I'm not having that.
That's the same thing with the government.
Correct.
And our right. Our right's over here. Here's the federal. You don't need this. You don't need that. It's a conversation we never should even be holding.
And we're not anarchists. We believe in the
No.
Constitution. We believe in the federal government. Unfortunately.
But that's what it's there to protect from. So why are you talking to the people it's there to protect you from? Like, well, we're not tyrannical right now. We'll let you know when we are. And then we can maybe give you your weapons back. Because if they take them, and that's the whole point, folks. It's a conversation that's not even meant to be had.
John Wayne, out of my cold, dead hands.
Yes.
Well, you know what? And there's been some people say, well, we'll pry him out of here. Well, okay, cool. When you come to take him, make sure there's ambulances. Yeah. And I'm not saying who's going to the hospital or morgue, but once you start declaring that I'm taking your guns, well, how are you going to do that? With violence and other
With guns. They gotta take guns.
Well, cool. Now we know there's going to be bloodshed.
Jake, thank you for the super chat. He talks about what if the GPM thing is because they're sending people to criminals to Gitmo, and just one step ahead of the cabal. Hey, we heard things, the Dumbs bases, and there's an underground war going on right now. Man, I love that. I hope it is true that the Dumbs are being blown up.
Oh, that I hope is true.
Well, I'm just saying.
Because I believe they exist.
Yeah, this guy just said, what? Because we talked about there's a military test going right off the coast, by the way, that started Thursday and goes till Wednesday.
Conveniently.
So over today, right now, it's going on, and GPS might be jarred up on the eastern sector, not work.
And maybe your 4G.
4G,
But Mike and I
3G
already said, we
phones.
went to a Trump rally once, and we looked at each other, my phone ain't working. Mine either. We couldn't even go live. We were able to take still pictures because that's part of your phone. You can still take it. But just right down the road here in Indiana, phones didn't work. Do you think it was because there was 40 or 50,000 people at a rally?
That's right.
Or I guess I could buy that, but somebody hit a switch somewhere.
I would say, and that's what everyone keeps saying. You guys going live down there? We'd love to. We're going to try.
We're going to do our best to do it.
But that's why I got all the storage stuff lined up, folks. I mean, the GoPro's going to get at least 9 hours of raw footage. Be passing off, hopefully, Jaws will hold it for 2 hours. Scott will hold it for 2 hours. I'll hold it for 2. Woodman for 2. Then boom.
You will see it here, even if we have to come back and do a bunch of editing. And I hope that Mike's going to do a bunch of editing and it'll be like 4 or 5 days after we get back. It'll be this big monologue edited version of what we hope to be able to go live. If we can, we're going to get you stuff as fast as we can. We'll just do quick little.
We're going live on the way down several times, little 10-minute, 15, whatever we feel comfortable and what we can pull off. When we get there to the hotel room, we'll probably do a check-in, maybe, and then after the event, because Monday afterwards, we head back to the room. We'll probably do a cap off there from the room. We don't leave till the next day. We're letting the crowd kind of
we're not telling people exact times because if there's haters against us, we're not going to tell you where we're at, what time we're leaving.
A couple days we're there after possibly because we want to see the after effect. Who knows? But we're
this
there.
is not the normal me. Normally I'd be like, bring it on. But this is an adult. This is a big situation. This isn't you just going down to your local Legion or whatever and having an argument with somebody. We're going out of our realm. We're going into another state.
That's right.
And you don't know what somebody else's agenda is.
A lot of people want us to video the buses coming in that they're going to be shoveling in the buses from all over the state.
We're going to supply all of you with as much footage. And I want to try to keep the opinions, as far as ours, to a minute. Our job is to get in front of people. We're going to get in front of as many people, take as many pictures. We're going to ask people, what are you doing here and why are you here? But those types of questions, you're going to hear multiple different answers. And I think we'll be able to dissect it later and figure out which ones are local Virginians, which ones are for our cause. You know, if we can, as four of us collectively can get to, say, 800 people and ask them the same question, what are you doing here and why are you here? Yeah. Weren't you going to ask me my name? No, we don't care about that. What are you doing here and what's the agenda? And seriously, we'll come back here to the studio, we'll do some editing, and we're going to be able to pinpoint which ones were for us and which ones were only there to cause trouble.
That's right.
Because most of the answers are going to be like, protect our rights. You know, what do we always say when we sign off? Mike says things like Godspeed, I say protect our rights, and Mike says never give them up. Those are the answers we should be hearing.
That's right. So I just saw somebody in the chat. They were all stoked. I got to do it. Hold on.
Uh-oh, stoked people. We like stoked people.
Yeah, they were happy.
I see 800.
I like making people happy. Somebody here, she said it was her, what we just showed there, it was her tweet. So congratulations. You made it on the Patriot Hour. She goes by Sweet Potato on Twitter. So thank you.
Jake,
thank you for
$4.99. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you guys sound off. You got any questions?
They're sounding off so quick, I can't even keep up.
You can't? I can make it go slower.
What? Did you bog it down or something? Don't go to Virginia. Listen to Amazing Polly. We're going. We've already made up our minds. We're going. This isn't. Well, you know, I don't know. I can't
let me ask you that.
This isn't a war. We're not walking.
Who wins if nobody goes?
Well, who do you think wins? An absentee vote. If there's no support, then if you don't
break that down.
If you don't
Scott.
stand,
some people don't.
Yeah, break this down.
Well, they might not get it.
Here's what I'm going to tell you: if you're a patriot and you love your country, and you got a family, and you love going to work, and you love your kids getting an education, and you love your neighbors, and you love your friends, and you love all your family, then you should stand up. Because if you don't stand up, you're asking somebody else to do it in your stead. And here's what I mean by that. You don't know what part of history you play in. You don't. You never know when that moment's going to pop, right? I'm not saying that it's our job to go to Virginia and change history of the United States, but don't they deserve to have support from people from India? And if you don't think it's important, that's fine. I can't agree with that. But when something's important to you later on, and you were the one saying,
you show up.
Don't go to. Why should I come help you? You know, we're all Americans. It don't creed, color, none of that matters. We're going down there to rally. And if you want to give your rights
all these other rallies going on the last few years that you didn't support, you didn't go to, and maybe you thought that's stupid that it's not that is happening, but other people went and they showed up in massive amounts of numbers.
Yeah.
Whether it was like maybe an LGBT.
If you and I don't go and take the Patriot Hour to Virginia to support those people,
which we have a right to do, we're just traveling freely to another state and rally of Second Amendment, by the way, Constitution.
Then you and I are frauds, number one. But number two, it's I think it's the biggest sin you can make as a patriot. Yep. If you're a patriot, if you're going to call yourself patriot, then you care about you're not an individual.
And we understand that everybody can go. Not everyone has the.
Not asking people to go. Well, and I'm not even saying overwhelmingly support the cause. What I'm saying is if somebody from Oregon says we need support, give them your support. We all fly that big, beautiful flag. We all follow the same laws. We all follow the same Constitution. And if you blink and turn your back into Virginia or Oregon or Indiana or wherever, and they roll over it and pass laws, then what happens is Pandora's box. Precedents. Mm-hmm. Once they get one state to fall, the next one falls, and then it's... Because you have to stand up you have to stand up.
We're 150 years from or is it about 150, 160, but from 1776 till now.
That's a lot of years.
All the stuff that's creeped in, a couple hundred years, right? All the stuff that's creeped in, because we got away from having the King George and that rule, and we didn't want central banking, but the central banks kept trying to creep back in, and it didn't happen overnight. little by little when you look at history.
And this is what always blows my mind. People sacrificed everything to push that agenda, and they knew they wouldn't be around later on. They were so evil. They knew that as long as I did my part, evil would always exist. Why else would you push for all this evil? We all know we're going to die in 90 years or 80
and I don't agree with all these men. Like some of these quotes that I'll tell you right now, like Andrew Jackson, but like when we watched that Pretty Good to Niche documentary that you watched on Prime, some of these I don't agree with these men, but they were good on some angles of things in history, but others I'm like, wow, I didn't agree with them at all on that. But he did fight off the bankers. Like I think it was on his deathbed, Andrew Jackson, like, what is one of the most proud things you're proud of, sir? And he's like, I killed the bankers and died. That was his last words, or like writing them down, like, wow, he killed the bankers to keep them away and out of our lives.
Well, he didn't kill them. He slowed them down.
Yeah.
They came back.
Evil always does. So you can fight off evil, ward it off, but you always got to be, your job, you don't,
right.
I'm done.
Well, let's put it in a different scenario. And this is not conspiracy. This is just because this has happened in this country, this great beautiful country. Sorry, I got my volume up, and I'm a jerk for doing it. But in this country, we had a civil war, right? And I bet, I mean, just put yourself back in their time.
Thanks for all the super chats.
This would never happen. This would never happen. Nobody was even thinking about it. Well, nobody's really thinking a civil war could really happen, other than conspiracists or whatever. So, if an outcry came, right? People in Europe were screaming to England and to the United States for help, and there were protesters, and I will dig this up and put it on the show. You guys will throw up. But even in 1939, there were people walking down New York City holding signs up. Hitler didn't do anything to us. Stay out of war. They were blind.
Yeah.
And it was because of whoever was in their ears or whatever was in their heart. They didn't want to go to war because they would rather send Mike to go fight their battle instead of their own loved ones. I get that. Nobody wants their kids to die, all that. But you have to look at evil as a whole. If you're willing and able to take on evil, then you do so. If you're not, the best thing for you to do is
pray for those that do.
That's it. That's it.
Support those that do.
Do not give my enemy.
Don't get in the way.
Don't give them more strength. Don't show weakness by, well, everybody stay away.
That's why, in a sense, we're going down for all of those.
That can't.
Those of you, like right here, we got a. We just got a barrage of people supporting us to go, sending super chats. Unbelievable, you guys. $10, $25, 20, 20, 20. I mean, thank you. We're going down for you. We're getting you footage. We're going to show you things that the fake news isn't showing you.
Well, this is what you and I promised a year and a half, 2 years ago. When we started doing this, we said we wanted to be able to do these things. Now, we can't really always do it out of our own pocket. Money aside, we don't beg, we don't ask.
Everyone's saying just be careful is the biggest thing I'm getting out of all of it. Be careful, Scott. We're praying for you. We love you. And we just want you to come back the same way you left. The same way you left.
Nah, I'm not going to come back the same way I left.
Well,
I'll come back more knowledgeable.
That's right. See,
and hopefully come back with this awesome, powerful feeling that we're not alone. You know, the liberal TV always makes it sound like, oh, you know, that small 2 or 4% are always the squeaky wheel, and they're always the ones in the news. You know who should be in the news? America. Americans. The majority of us. The majority of this country actually all do get along. We all do. You know who divides us? Them.
That's right.
Yep.
And it's only like 5 or 10 people that own the media and own the newspaper, you know, the TVs and the radios and the newspaper. 10 people are trying, you know, let's just say 10 are trying to divide us. So, yes, when Virginia calls, I'm in.
And this is the first, I mean, thank you guys, a little support from Oregon. May God be with you. Marissa, thank you.
Appreciate it.
We're probably not going to be able to go to all the states as it comes. I mean, if we could, we will. But I'm saying this is the very first one. It's setting a very huge precedence. They're trying to get nobody to show up. You guys are telling us through the fear that you fear, and I know it's not out of
Mikey, look in the camera and tell them you feel it.
I know it's not
I
out
feel
of.
it too.
Yeah, we do, and we get it. You're like, don't go, it's a trap, and it's going to do this to you. And you're doing it out of love. You're doing it out of compassion. But we have to, because if we don't, then nobody shows up, and then they win, and they pass things, and they're like, look, there's no support. Nobody, you guys don't. They did this in Chicago. I didn't run up to Chicago to do this. Maybe I should have. Could we made a difference?
I don't want to wake up tomorrow morning or Wednesday morning, Tuesday morning, a year of morning from now, 10 mornings from now, whatever it is. I don't want to wake up and say, I know who I am, and I know what kind of man I am, and I know I have these things in the back of my head that I'm supposed to do something.
Yeah.
Maybe this is that something. And if you can't do it, I'm okay with it. So the prayers are my strength, my armor. Right?
Yep.
I can go do
Armor
what
of
others
God.
can't. I know some people can't walk away from their jobs. We invited other people to go with us. I appreciate the fact that not everybody can do it. Should I be doing it? Is a totally different conversation, right?
We managed to pull off 5. I know Nate wanted to be here. He's got obligations, family, work. Some of us could arrange it. Some of us couldn't. Ben, same thing. Ben,
Would it
but
suck come Monday afternoon if something bad happens? All 3 of us are looking around going, man, maybe we should. Well, by then it'll be too late. But just because, listen, we're going to die someday. I know I'm going to die. So because I fear death, I should be cautious every day? No, I'm going to live. You die once. You live 70, 80 years, right? So that's the same analogy. Yes, I could go down to Virginia and some crazy dude could solely pick me out of all these people and just end my life, and my wife would be devastated. My kids would be without a father. You people probably would pour into the show going, oh my gosh, we told them to be safe. It happened anyway. I get that. I'm not playing the odds. I'm not going to be that guy, well, there's a chance 1 out of 100,000 they're going to pick me. No, my point is I know that it could happen. But you can't just roll over.
no, it's just like this is funny. A little side thing. I called my sister from the Persian Gulf back in like I don't know it was like I was gonna get out. It was like early 2000. Yeah, it was in 2000. I called her. I was on a 6-month deployment in the Persian Gulf, 7-month deployment. I called, and by the way, at this time I'm a firefighter on an aircraft carrier in the Navy. And I call her, and she's like, "Oh, hey!" And it was delayed. It was a satellite phone on the ship, and it's like you say something, you got to kind of wait. Right. Echoes, comes back, she talks, and I was like, "She's like, what are you doing? Your first 5 years is almost up." I was like, "I might get out or whatever, come back home, which is here, and I don't know, I might be a firefighter or something." She's like, "I don't know about that. That's real dangerous." And I'm like, I'm in the military right now in the Persian Gulf, and I'm a firefighter on an aircraft carrier.
Who would you have do it in my stead? Somebody you don't know? I mean,
I was like, just being at home would be a little bit safer. But we don't let that get in the way. And we're not running.
Wise men would just stay home and just try to run the show and tell you guys that we're patriots. And from the beginning, those that have been with us from the beginning heard me and Mike say, we want to try to go to where these events are. We are getting a little bigger.
We got that burning desire, man, and it
isn't because we're trying to get rich. Because if you came to his house or my house, you'd see, well, these guys are actually humble. It's not cheap to do those things, but Mike and I really want to be those guys, right? Not CNN, not Fox, not hey, here's some footage, and we know what ultimately that could cost us. Showing the wrong thing, you're not going along with it. We're not billionaires. We don't run this country. We're not at the table of 10. That's why we do it, though. Right? Who's got the real power? Is it the people? The people have the power. Gotta go. I understand the risks, and man,
you've accepted the risk involved, and you're willing to put some of that aside for country, for
how can
the
I tell
people. You're standing up for every one of you here. The Patriot that can't go, Scott's there for you. Jaws is there. I'm there. Woodman.
How can we look our
Fluid
sons
port,
in the
fluid
eye? I have a son about ready to go in the Marines in about 14 months. He's declared dedicated to go to the Marines. We have lots of family and friends that have recently joined. Their kids or grandkids have joined. Who am I to say, nah, I'd rather just sit right here in this studio and give you opinions on what's going on in Virginia, or get my ass up and.
Get
This
down
isn't
there
this
and
isn't
see what's going on.
this
Oh,
isn't
wow.
a $5,000 flight to Australia. This is
Right.
this is a 10-hour drive. A hotel, by the way, ain't cheap. We can do it. So why not do it? What I mean, I'm one of them guys that are. My wife tells me all day, and some of my friends are like, man, you sometimes go way too deep. We're all going to die someday. So I get to put this feather in my cap or in my book, saying, back in blah 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 time, my grandkids are going to see this.
Yeah.
The
This is
sons
history.
and grandsons in my family are going to say, Grandpa, Paw was Patriot. He helped his country in this way. Yours is the same.
You'll be sitting with the grandkids telling this story
It's
because
so easy to get in your car and just go support. That's what we're doing. Now, we can't control the nasty that could happen, but by God, I can get in my car and go to work tomorrow, and the nasty could happen to me.
Right.
I could get in a plane and travel across country to my next job, and nasty could happen to me. So look at it like that.
hey, you guys, I said we're going to go 10:15. Guess what? We're at 50 minutes. Real quick, I'm going to say this. Steven Alvarado, thank you. We got a new member.
Cheers.
Nice.
Cynthia Brewer, thank you. Rumpelstiltskin, Mary Zimmerman, KCP support we the people and be safe. Thank you, KCP.
Lyle Bud.
I
Lyle
thank
Bud,
you.
look at that. That just popped. In the last 2 days, I've heard their big issues about the background organization. Blah, blah, blah. $20. Thank you, Lyle Bud.
Lyle Bud, thank you. Umpires Post, Nerdy Art, Diana Morin, Marissa, Crushing the Losers of the Lying Left, thank you. T. Roy Crooks, Robert Cobert, Robert McDougall, Jake, Rockefeller, Levin, Texas.
These guys are great, Mike. Look what.
That's awesome.
Just a quick shot. Oh man, I'm getting.
Tell him, look into the camera.
Mike was just telling me, we hit 170. Those of you that have been with us from the beginning, it was 12, then it was 100, then it was 500, then it was 1,000, and Mike and I joking, working together, hanging out as best friends. Oh man, what happens if it gets to 2,500? Oh, it's 25. Mike's texting me the next morning. Oh my God, man, it went 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. A week later, 40,000.
Remember the time at the Legion though? We were there with the ladies and we had the phone side. We were just watching as we're having
The
a
same
couple
people
beers.
that told us to shut our mouths.
But we're seeing the live count I had on. You're like, what is that? And I'm like, it's a little subscribe count. And it was like, bloop, 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 bloop. You kept going all night long as we're drinking a couple
the
beers.
very same people, right? The Judists, Patriots, right? Want to be Patriots and just go and hang out in their little dungeon and talk a good talk and never get out and, I can't believe you and Mike have got well, Mike's done the majority of it. Scott's not always here, but Mike and I 2 years ago or whatever it was October 2 years ago, I think it was.
Yes.
And we watched these numbers. So tonight I'll tell you, thank you. I'm here we are going to Virginia. We're getting prayers. We're getting donations. The prayers are huge. The money is great, whatever. We'll spend that the best way we can in the studio, travels, whatever. We don't have yachts or planes, but the prayers while you're
Don't have any
while you're
planes or
praying,
yachts,
while-
yes.
no plane. But while you're praying for Woodman and Mike and myself and Jaws, we have families, we have children. I'm more comfortable asking, if I ever ask for anybody to pray for my love. I mean, I appreciate praying for me, but I can take care of me. God's pretty big on my shoulders. You can say a prayer for my kids instead of me. And that's me politely saying I appreciate you praying for me, but don't forget our families. There's a lot of sacrifice going on. And I'm just humbled and blown away at all of the support. I'm watching my phone. I can't even keep up with you guys' comments.
Too many people in the room.
I
tonight.
wish we all were going to be there. And one day I hope, and Mike always advertising and lets you know what's going to go on here in Indiana near the studio next year. The
Connie,
big
thank
rally.
you.
Get here.
Thank you, Connie.
I wait for the day that we're all standing in that big field or around a bunch of picnic tables. And Mike,
Well,
I get to
Patriot
jump on
Fest.
a- yeah,
Patriot
that's
Fest
what
is
I'm
coming
saying.
up,
And we
and
get to
these
jump
guys will
up
be
and
there.
say, all fellow Patriots, and see thousands of you raise your hands. Not for Mike and I. I mean, it'll be warm and humbling because we're a family,
But for you guys, for being patriots as well, I mean, this is what it's about. This is about saving country and
I'm not.
the fundamental rights that we have, God given. Man didn't give me nothing like that,
No, man, always takes. As long
Takes. All right, we're gonna shut this one out because we gotta get up early. We can go all night long, but Scott, you go ahead, give him a.
I love you. I love you. We appreciate you. Thank you. We'll see you on not the dark side of the moon. We're gonna see you Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever that might be.
Tomorrow, here in a couple hours, we'll be going live. Like
We're gonna do our
if it works.
Right. But back here in the studio, we're gonna see you again. Fight the evil with your prayers. Think positive. Believe me, all three of us are nervous. I know Woodman's probably a little nervous. I'm sure there's thousands of people going that are going to be nervous or are nervous right now. Maybe some are going to back out. We're not backing out. We don't do that here. Mike and I don't back down. Just keep sending your prayers. Silent prayers are good. It doesn't have to be on messages. We feel it. We got it. We're going to do this. And we'll be back in a couple of days. You'll see us live as long as Wi-Fi and 4G is working. Thank you. Thank you.
Jaws?
I don't really have much to say after that. That was
Pretty good, right?
just
Pretty
about
good.
spot on. One thing I will say is something to take into consideration would be if no one is willing to stand in front of evil, it will always win. It will always win. It will literally take over the world unless good people are willing to stand up for what they believe in and stand up for other people who feel the same way that they do. So,
Amen.
Amen on that. I'll leave it at that. That was great spoken. Yeah, neither of these two guys I know. They're not scared of the devil or his army. They actually have the armor of God on and with the belt of truth buckled around their waist.
Mikey, there's a storm coming.
That's right.
That's what the stranger told me, and I said, I am the storm.
See? There you go. Have no fear, folks. We'll be checking in with you. Great Patriots, bringing you truth. Scott, Jaws, myself, Woodman. We got Fluid Pour meeting up with us, and we're meeting up with some other Patriots tomorrow night to go over possibly a good game plan. Other veterans. We're going to fill that out Sunday night. Check out that game plan because it's always great to have 6, 7, 8 good Patriots, veterans, watching each other's sixes. All right, so again, folks, we'll see you tomorrow. Whenever the sun comes up and we can pull off something, a little update for you, let you know. But
until then, Godspeed.
Yep, Godspeed and God bless to all of you. And good night.
Protect those rights.
Never give them up. Never give them up to idiots. Why? You never get them back. Idiots don't tend to give things back too easy once they get them. All right, good night.